Hello and welcome to the collaboration space. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about how to empower and retain students with immersive experiences. The competition to attract students is more challenging due to a shift in demographics. There are simply fewer students entering college over the next few years. And with that, there's a heightened demand for specialized, engaging educational experiences. How we learn has changed. The ability to cultivate immersive experiences powered by the latest technology could be a critical differentiator for your school. Today, we'll explore how the latest projection and display technologies create compelling experiences. We'll discuss how these tools can attract prospective students, foster an environment that nurtures the entire academic journey, ultimately promoting student success and institutional loyalty. We'll also go beyond the classroom and talk about educational experiences in simulation environments and venues like museums. That's a lot to talk about, and to help me cover it all, Linda Hess from Panasonic Connect is joining us today. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for having me and Panasonic. My name is Linda Hess. I am an Executive Territory Account Manager for Panasonic. I've been with Panasonic for over 13 years. I am based out of Pennsylvania, covering Pennsylvania down to Virginia for projectors and displays. I represent Panasonic Projectors and Displays Americas. Just a little bit about Panasonic. We are a 100-year-old company. So a lot of companies cannot say that nowadays, but we are proud to be over 100 years old. We offer hardware, software solutions, as well as professional services to all of our customers. We work in many markets, from education to corporate to museums, live entertainment, immersive environments. Essentially, the customer experience is the most important to Panasonic, and we want to connect with people and help them do their own storytelling and create their own experiences through Panasonic technology. And as technology changes nowadays, just keeping up with the latest in technology within Panasonic to foster and help our customers bring their visions to life.
Yeah, we talk a lot these days about being future ready. We need solutions today, but they need to be scalable so that we're ready for what's next. So maybe, Linda, you can share a little bit about Panasonic's history and commitment to the educational space.
Yeah, great. So in regards to education, and especially in higher education, where Panasonic thrives in, there is a high level of competition. Whether you're thinking about it or not, there is a lot of concentration in regards to student retention in the higher education space. Why student engagement is important and the student experience is important, because you want to keep those butts in their seats, right? You want to make sure
Absolutely.
that the students are there on campus, they're participating, they're not going anywhere else. So the student customer experience is very important, where Panasonic technology within our projectors and displays can foster that. Whether it's digital signage, whether it's wayfinding or interactive displays through our pro displays, or you can create it where you create much more larger immersive experiences with our large scale projectors, whether it's the lobbies, the student centers, the theaters. Essentially, the goal is to create those wow factors and create those human connections where the students feel that this is where they belong and this is where they want to go to school. So us at Panasonic, we just try to help create those experiences. And then from there, no matter what the market is, whether it's higher education or K through 12 or trade schools or even learning environments like museums, Panasonic has a large footprint in creating those experiences.
Yeah, can we dive a little deeper into the more immersive spaces? I know simulation and creating real world experiences, I think, is very important to today's student to get them ready for their career. So how does Panasonic help create those simulation environments?
So simulation and immersive experiences is where it's much more fun in regards to Panasonic. Simulation and immersive experiences are all things trending right now. Simulation, if you don't know for our viewers, simulation is just computer generated models to create virtual environments where you can bring real world environments to you without traveling anywhere, right? So it is a much more less expensive experience to have. So where Panasonic comes into play, we have a large presence in simulation. So examples of simulation would be flight simulation, boat maritime simulations for the military, or it can be into sports simulation like baseball, golf is very popular nowadays in regards to simulation, or it can be something super simple where it could be a virtual school trip or a field trip. It could be virtual designs or even virtual reality. So it becomes where you become much more creative within that space. So where that comes into play in regards to Panasonic is we create these immersive experiences. An example would be a 360 immersive room. So we project from floor to ceiling, all four walls if needed, or even three walls, where institutions like higher education can utilize things like Google 360 to create collaboration spaces or meeting rooms. You can do walkthroughs. You can use infrared IR touch to make those walls much more interactive, or even just moving the images around through a tablet. So there's so many different areas where you can bring in those immersive spaces, create simulations, and bring in education through that. And then going from education immersive experiences to large scale learning spaces like museums. In regards to the museum spaces, immersive and interactive exhibitions are more important than ever, and actually super popular nowadays because they want to make sure that they have as many visitors as possible. They're keeping visitors engaged. Everybody's learning. Everybody's creating a memory. So museums are using digital art, digital narratives, personalizing the exhibitions for the visitors, whether it's interactive or touch objects or touch screens. So it's become much more popular in regards to that. And some of the museums that we've or projects that we've just lately have done what are the White House experience in Washington, D.C. That has a lot of interactive projection and displays, and as well as large scale projection like the Luma Festival that we have in New York City or New York State.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned a few things, when we go back to healthcare training and flight simulators, I'm thinking about the safety aspect of that. I'm not only creating a real world environment where the person learns to react, but I'm keeping everybody safe. Like if I'm learning to be a nurse, I don't want to practice on a live patient. I'm practicing on a mannequin in a simulated space, and I'm in a flight simulator. I'm not going up in a plane my first time out. I'm really learning how to use those controls. So I'm guessing that feeling of safety also comes into play in the simulation environments.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And in the museums, and even with the schools you mentioned, we're all out and about now, right? We want to get into those physical spaces. And I'm guessing that the projection and the displays all encourage people to keep going back to those physical spaces. You can get a degree online, but is it going to be more fun and more interactive if I go on campus?
Of course.
Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of rapid changes happening with education technology. How do we ensure that these solutions solve today's needs, as we mentioned, but remain future ready? Like I need to be scalable and I need to be ready for what's next. How does Panasonic Connect help out with that aspect of it?
So Panasonic, we pride ourselves to be very interactive and get the feedback from our partners within our industry, as well as our direct customers, our end users. So getting their feedback on a day-to-day what they need today, what they need in the future, in the next 5 years, and the next 10 years, keeping on trend on the latest in technology. That's what Panasonic thrives on. We want to make sure that we have the latest in technology, and we're setting the premise for future standards, right? So one of the biggest trends or in regards to technology nowadays is 4K. 4K resolution. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's professional or consumer. 4K technology is here and it's not going anywhere. But it's more about creating that content that is 4K. So within Panasonic, as more 4K content is being created, more 4K projectors and displays are needed. So with Panasonic, all of our Pro displays from 43-inch to 98-inch are already 4K resolution. Just recently, we have come out with a full lineup of HD as well as 4K resolution projectors ranging from 6,000 lumen all the way up to 50,000 lumens, depending on the environment and the project that you need. So keeping up with 4K resolution is a big important part, as well as becoming much more flexible and scalable within our products. So making sure that is easy for the customer to integrate our products and use our products is super important. One aspect is emulation mode for our projectors. So emulating control codes and making it easy for our customers to bring in our projectors is a feature that we have in our projectors. Another aspect would be SDM. SDM is Smart Display Module. It is a component of our Pro displays as well as a lot of our projectors. So what that does is it's an expandable input slot where you can add in HDBaseT, 12G SDI, fiber. A lot of third-party manufacturers create SDM slots as well. And we also produced or featured our new 512 gig media processor that is also an SDM card slot. So it just gives our projectors and displays much more flexibility and versatility for our customers. And
So
then,
just to stop on SDM for a minute, just to talk a little bit about the benefits of that. So I'm going back to scalability and ease of use. Is that what I'm hearing? Like I have different inputs, and is it easier for me to control my content and where it's being displayed?
Yeah, exactly. Or using a third-party component that's sitting on the outside of the projector or at the podium or in the rack. It is just giving it an extra cable, even. So that SDM provides you just inputs that you wouldn't regularly have on a standard projector or display today.
Okay. And also, when you're working with Panasonic and AVI-SPL, you can also have the expertise of our team to help you integrate all your technology, including your Panasonic displays and projectors. And we have different levels of services for you. Once you create these wonderful environments, you want to make sure they're always up and running, whether in a simulation space, a classroom, or a museum. We can help monitor and control systems remotely, or even send people on site, depending on the different support that you need. And I know that AVI-SPL and Panasonic have a long history of working together and of our variety of solutions. So Linda, thank you so much for sharing everything about Panasonic Connect today.
Oh, thank you, Nancy. Thank you for inviting us.
Appreciate your time. And to our listeners, thank you for attending today. And to make sure you don't miss a video episode, you can follow AVI-SPL on YouTube. And if you prefer the audio version, you can simply search for the Collaboration Space on your favorite podcast app. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. For more information, visit avispl.com.